Okay, I'm going to record this video very quickly since your run starts very soon. So, I found some information about this guy, and I see he has quite a few games here. Um, just to show you very quickly. So I checked his video profile. He has quite a few games on this thing. I've downloaded a bunch of the games. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing the Dutch defense. Okay, we're going to be playing our Dutch defense against his London, and I'll show you some of his games just quickly. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so I've downloaded 8 games of his, and as you can see them now, he always plays this opening. He always plays this London system type of game, and oftentimes you'll see he'll move his knight to e5. He'll move his knight to e5 a lot. Very often in all these games that you'll see of his, he'll move the knight to e5. Whereas, sorry, I have a list of these games, 8 games in this database. So just to show you one of these games here, this is the kind of game that he played one time. And he won a pawn, and this is the kind of game that he just decides to opt for. He goes for this London system often, and it's not like he plays perfectly. He makes a lot of mistakes, actually. He completely loses his advantage and loses his game in this endgame, as you can see. I wish I could go a bit more detailed, but since there's not enough time, I'm not gonna go too detailed. Anyway, next game. Look at that. London system, knight c3, bishop to f4. Again, knight f3, knight c3, bishop f4. Again, knight c3, bishop f4. He plays the same game every single time. Every single one of these games, he plays the exact same opening, and oftentimes he'll go for this kind of a structure, wherein he just tries and he just goes for this kind of a position where he just plays the same way every time. He places his bishop there. He plays d4, e3. So he doesn't play c3 like a normal London. He plays knight c3. And in one of these games, I believe it was this one. No, it wasn't this one. I think that this is the game. He played no. Okay. One of the games he moved his knight to b5 to threaten this. But as you can see, he plays the exact same way in every single one of these games. Again, here, same opening. He plays, this is the game. He plays his knight here to try and fork, and he plays the same ideas every single game. This is not exactly the best way to play, and he's never, ever, ever, ever in his entire, in all the data I could find quickly, he has never played against the Dutch, so he won't know how to play against the Dutch, and he struggles in these kinds of openings. He's quite weak in this kind of tactical game where he doesn't know exactly the same type of opening he's going to play. When he doesn't know what his opponent's playing, he loses. So we are going to win with our Dutch defense. And I'm going to show you some quick lines of what to do against his London, because he plays the same style every single time with knight c3, bishop f4, d4. He plays the same way every single time. So I'm going to show you a quick couple of lines on what to do. And here it goes. Okay, so as you can see, this is our Dutch. So d4, f5, we play our Dutch defense. Now, he'll always either play bishops f4 or knight f3 or knight c3, right? In any of these cases, no matter what he does, we play our move knight f6 first. Now, he has multiple options. He can go for here, or he can go for this as well, knowing him. He can go for either of these two potential variations. Whichever, again, same here. No matter what he does, we play e6. What's our goal behind e6? We play e6 to gain some central control and defend our f pawn. That's what we play e6 for. So now, if he plays, let's say knight f6. Let's continue with my other lines. Let's say he play bishop f4, knight f6, knight f3. Now we play e6. No matter what we play e6. Now, if he moves this way, now this is a key thing. If he plays his knight here, if he plays knight c3 first, pin the knight and prevent it, especially if he's already moved this other knight away. If the knight goes to c3, pin the knight. And if he doesn't defend it, and if he plays something like this, put pressure, and if he doesn't do anything else, trade it off. And if he does something like this, you just win a pawn. This is an example, is you just win a pawn, but be wary of this check. And if he does this check, g3, g6, he plays here, queen here, and you're completely safe. In spite of whatever he may do, you are completely safe because you can force a trade. And if you go into this kind of variation, you're fine. You're really completely okay. So if he plays knight c3 after you play e6, move the knight out. And if he plays knight c3 straight away, knight f6, bishop f4, e6. If he doesn't move, if you play something like this, you still pin the knight. This is the key idea. When he plays knight c3, you pin the knight. No matter what, you pin the knight. If he plays something like a6, a3 to prevent it, you play d5 or you play bishop here. Anyway, your main goal of the Dutch is to castle and develop quickly, and then fight for the center in a bit more of an off center, in a bit more of a different way. So the one of your main ideas is to pin this knight to the king. Just to quickly show, another key idea in this kind of position. After he plays e3 and you develop your bishop. If he plays like this now, you castle. If he develops his bishop, you play b6. This is a brilliant move. b6 is a very key idea, and the idea is you fianchetto this bishop because you know he's going to castle this side. If he doesn't, he will not play that, right? And if he just I'm just showing you this line just in case. This is just the most scary option that can happen, that can arise. This is what you do, and you're completely safe in this position. You are fully developed. He doesn't really have anything much he can do here. And worst case scenario, he trades this off and you're better. You are very, very equipped against the London system. And if he doesn't do that, and if he just decides to castle normally, you play your bishop here and your bishop stares at this king. This is a long-term idea. You'll have a lot of pressure coming into this position. Now, if he just plays something normal, let's say he plays rook e1, you move your knight in here, knight c6. This is an example. And then you can just go for like this kind of a trade, and this is an equal game. If you want to be aggressive, and this is the best way to play in the Dutch, you play g5. And then after g5, h5. And he has to move his, and then he has to like prevent his bishop from being trapped. And if you play like this, important thing is now, okay, you just keep going on the offensive. Look at this, the computer may say it's equal, but you are in a very, very nice position here. Make sure you bring your pieces towards your king. If you decide to play this aggressive and you try and go for this, make sure you bring your pieces to defend your king, because your pawns will no longer be defending your king. Just this is an example. But the main key ideas I want to show you against the London, since this is just a short video, no matter what he does, play e6, play f5, e6, play f5, knight f6, e6. If he plays the knight to c3, after you play e6, if he plays knight to c3, you pin the knight. If he doesn't go, and another thing, you don't have to trade this off unless you're forced to. And this is what I mean by this, like castle. If he plays here, you can take if you want to, but the best move is just to go back. The reason you go back and you don't trade it for the knight, you can trade the bishop, the dark squared bishop. You can trade the dark squared bishop for his dark squared bishop. But ideally, you don't trade your dark squared bishop for his knight, because in the Dutch, a lot of your pawns are on light squares. So you don't want to necessarily trade off your dark squared bishop, okay? So if he ever plays a knight to c3, you pin the knight. And if he tries and kicks you out like this, you move your bishop back. This is one of the key ideas. Another key idea, b6, bishop b7. You use that pressure, and in the Dutch, you push this way. You push this way, you bring your queen in, and you try and attack on the king side. Your king is completely safe. You can, and later on, you can play like something like d6 and bring your light squared, sorry, not your light squared bishop. You can play d6 and bring your knight into the game this way, just as an example. So these are the kinds of ideas you should have in your Dutch, because he's certainly playing the London system. There is no doubt in my mind that he plays the London system. And when he plays the London system, you have to be prepared. The traditional London setup is where you have your pawn here, bishop here, e6, e3, knight f6, bishop here, knight here. But he doesn't play c4. He doesn't play c3 either. He doesn't know how he plays the London. He plays the London with knight to c3. And when he plays knight to c3, you pin the knight. Okay, I cannot emphasize this enough. Pin the knight, and the reason you pin the knight, the reason you pin the knight in most of these positions where he doesn't do like this. Like if you just this is an example. The reason you pin the knight here is because when you pin the knight, it forces him to either move his bishop back, and if he doesn't move his bishop back and he plays something like this, you just put a lot of pressure on his pieces, and now you can just win a pawn this way. And this check is not scary. Again, I'm just showing you these variations. Check is not scary because you bring your queen, and there's not really anything significant he can do. This is completely an okay position for you. And again, no matter what, in all of these positions, you have a very similar idea of knight c3, knight c6, b6. And even if you may temporarily like lose a pawn here, you're the one that has all the pressure in this position. Look at your position compared to his. You are living life here. His pieces are not even fully developed. Yours are. You are safe. This is an example of a position you can play, and I really recommend this. Once again, to recap, main ideas: b6, move your bishop to the light squared to fianchetto, and also pin the knight if available. Play f6, e6, knight f6, and castle. The main goals of the Dutch is to attack the center and also to castle your king and protect it, keep it relatively safe. If he decides to go for the queen check, it's completely fine. Block it with the g pawn and move your queen. Okay, that's just recapping everything. I wish I could make this video longer, but you need to see it before you go to the playing hall, and this is all I can pack into around 10 minutes. So good luck. Remember your own quote: play against the pieces, not the rating. Don't even worry about how he plays. Don't even worry about what his rating is or how he's doing. Just focus on the game and move by move. Remember your theory. Take your time. You don't have to rush. There's no rush. You have an hour and 30. You got this. Okay? Good luck.